Starting a new project always feels like a roller coaster to me. One moment, I'm brimming with ideas. And the next, I'm spiraling into a pit of indecision. But this time, I nailed it. I came up with the most simple, fun, and gloriously ridiculous idea ever. A pizza site. Because, let's be honest, who doesn't like pizza? Well, me. I'm not the biggest fan, but we can unpack that later. I do, however, like coding, and that's what we're going to do today. It's 6 p.m. Let's see how long this takes us. So far, I just know that I want to create a website with a pizza in it. I need to now figure out what exactly is the website even going to do. Last night, before going to bed, I got this idea that I could do a would you rather kind of user experience. Something like what I saw in this Ellen game.
But 2 men, and you're going to tell me who'd you rather.
Or maybe I could just list out all my ingredients, and if the user clicks on it, the ingredient will appear on the pizza. And when the user clicks on the button again, it will disappear from the pizza. After 5 minutes of thought, I think the best way is the third one. So let's start off by listing all the ingredients I'm going to add and arrange them the way that they're going to appear on the website. Now, we know what we want to do, but how do we do this? I have a brief idea to convert each ingredient into either PNG or an SVG of itself. And then I will layer this asset on top of each other as the user clicks on the different buttons. I came up with these 3 items, and I don't want to sound too overconfident, but I feel like I can definitely get this done and dusted in 2 hours. The first step to implement is to create our ingredients. After the ramen website I created, I have lost hope in creating custom CSS fruit elements. So I'm definitely going to learn from my mistake and create custom ingredients using my iPad. I found some actual pizzas from Pinterest, and then I tried to replicate the ingredients on the different pizzas. Don't judge the drawings, it's a piece of art, just think of it that way. I made use of the different layers on this drawing app to ensure that all the ingredients will actually fit properly on my pizza when the user clicks on every single ingredient. This was so useful because we don't want any ingredients flying out of the pizza or a piece of olive being way bigger than a piece of salami. Because, come on, I know this is for fun, but we gotta be a bit realistic, right? Perfect. I have a bunch of images which I'm going to export and dump into my computer. I'm going to start off by creating a React app using TypeScript because that just makes life so much easier. Since I have 10 plus assets, a custom script is going to make things so much faster instead of me manually converting everything to SVGs. Or at least that's what I thought. I have the script and I'm going to try and do the conversion now, which seems like it kind of worked, but the SVG converter package removes all the color from my images, which is not at all what we want because nobody wants a black and white pizza. I tried to fix this for a while, but then I realized this really isn't worth my time for now. So I'm just going to move on and use PNG format for now. Next, we need to add 2 main folders, a components folder and then hooks. We're going to need the hooks for every ingredient as this is going to help us determine when we show the ingredient if the user clicks on the button and when to hide the ingredient when the user clicks on the button again. To automate things, and since I have 10 ingredients to do the same thing for, I'm going to use Cursor AI, which is an AI-powered code editor to help me create the components and the hooks as the base logic is more or less the same. This is honestly such a lifesaver because I just need to review and make sure that Cursor AI does the right thing, and then I can just apply the code for every component. Now let's run and see what we have done so far. Okay, cool. We have a basic template of what we want, but nothing really works. So I'm going to try and first make the UI fit my mirror design. This is looking a lot better, and the buttons are clickable, but nothing appears on my pizza. And it should technically work, but it's not, so we're going to have to debug using my favorite way, console logs. This is very interesting because the moment I click on the button, the logs show true. And very quickly, it becomes false again. But I would have expected it to be consistently true. I think I figured out what my problem was. I was stupidly not having a single source of truth for my state. So after I fixed the problem, my image still doesn't show up. Okay, now I think it could be a CSS issue. Let's debug and look into the code again. Turns out that's exactly what it was. CSS. But finally, I have the crust showing up. It should ideally take over the entire circle, but I think we can fix that with just some custom CSS. But you know what's weird? Now, when I click on the base, it totally takes over the entire pizza instead of staying under my crust. And okay, the problem was that my PNGs, which is the images that I have, did not have a transparent background. Such a stupid problem. So I'm just going to fix that using Canva to manually remove the background and re-download the images. Fixed it, and now it finally works. The base logic is interesting because I always want at least one base to show up, and lucky enough it works the first time around, so I'm not going to touch that logic at all. You know, this actually looks not bad, so I'm just going to try and play around with the ingredients a bit, which seem to work fine, but I noticed that they all have a standard layer set. What I mean by this is that when I click on pepperoni and then I click on basil, I would have expected the basil to appear on top of the pepperoni and not the other way around. For this, I think I'm going to add some extra layer logic where I can keep track of the current ingredients on the pizza in terms of layering, and whatever gets added next is always at the top. Seems like that finally worked as expected. And it's 7:45, so this went by way faster than I thought. The whole pizza looks quite simple, so let's ask ChatGPT how we could make it a little cooler. ChatGPT came up with a lot of weird animations and ways to make it cooler, but the only one that I liked was this glow, which is to add a dynamic lighting as we add more ingredients. So the more ingredients I add, more glow there will be around the pizza, almost like it's getting ready and out of the oven. But I don't want to touch the CSS, so I'm going to let ChatGPT add that logic for me by just copy pasting the code in. Somehow that worked really quickly, and it worked the first time around, which is always surprising to an engineer. But there we have it, a pizza website I created from scratch, and of course with the help of tools like ChatGPT or Cursor AI as well. So this was a super simple 2-hour project. It's nothing crazy impressive, but for a 2-hour project, it was totally worth it. So super simple, but hope you found it fun and useful, and I'll see you in the next one.